Hello, everybody, and welcome to your full moon in Taurus readings. This is October 2023. The full moon is occurring on the 28th or roundabouts, depending upon where you are on the planet, okay? We are also experiencing the last eclipse in the season. I am Yolanda Marie, and these readings are designed to help you positively use this very powerful full moon energy. If you arrive at these readings outside the time and space of this very powerful full moon, this could still apply to you, so use your intuition here. Namaste. Hello, Cancer. During this full moon, there's a lot of fiery energy around you. Overall, it looks pretty balanced, right? There's some groundedness, there's a lot of thought process going on, but there's a lot of fire. And there's sort of like a progression that wants to happen, okay? Many of you are going to have something going on right now, or perhaps it's been going on, right? And you're coming to the end of it, but it involves forgiveness. It involves letting something go emotionally, something like that, okay? And when you cross this threshold of forgiveness, or this threshold of letting go, or this threshold of repairing something, a new cycle is going to begin. It is closing one door and opening another one, but maybe not entirely. So there's a lot of gray area and some mystery there, okay? So put it where it applies. Some of you won't necessarily be shutting a door completely. Others of you might. But the point is, there's some mending that what's coming through is it's set to occur is what came through. But my human was going to say some mending wants to happen. Okay, so put it where it applies to you, Cancer. All right, so there's some fear somewhere that you need to let go of. That's where your energy, your soothing, calming, healing energy comes in. Okay, those aspects of your collective. There's some fear that wants to, it really kind of is hanging on to you perhaps, but you want to let it go is a better way to say that. So really allow your emotions to come forward. And even though you're grounding, it looks like a lot of you are really, really grounded right now. You're moving forward in some way. You're pretty intent on it, it looks like, but you got to release this little bit of fear. So it's like there's some fear that's got to go, and there's something that needs to be repaired. Now, in the midst of all this, whatever it is some of you guys are working on is pretty inspired looking. Very inspired. And whatever it is, and remember, this could be large scale or small scale. So just wherever it fits, okay? And what's large and small anyway, right? So what we really mean by that is it could seem really like a large thing that spans out and affects many people, or it could seem like it's really personal. Let's put it that way. It could seem really dramatic, or it could seem very lighthearted, whatever, something like that. But whatever it is going to affect more than you. Okay, it's bigger than just you. That's what wants to be said. It's bigger than just you, and feels pretty important here. But once these things that we've just talked about, right, once they kind of get rolling a little bit more, as you're moving out of stagnation, as you've got some sort of ball rolling, this is going to shoot forward. Whatever this said goal is, or, whatever this finish line is, whatever it is you're seeing in your mind's eye as you listen to my voice, whatever that thing is, okay, it is set to sort of be off and running, like shooting through the eye of a needle or something like that. I just keep hearing like NASCAR. Like an engine, and then how they, at the very beginning, all the engines are revving and something's going on. Everybody's waiting on the guy to give the signal. I don't know why this is coming through. I don't watch a lot of NASCAR, you guys, but that's what's coming through. And then when the flag goes down or whatever, or up, whatever happens, right? I think they wave it down. Boom. Everybody's off and running. Okay. So that's what it feels like. Only much more like you're going to win. The only element that's different is it's not a competition, right? You are going to reach this goal. So yeah, it feels good. There's also, just before I get out of here, because I almost wrapped it up before I remembered to say, there's also a lot of potential in different options, like different choices. So if you felt that you didn't have a lot of choices open to you at some point, now they're going to be open to you. Something like that. Okay, Cancer? So yeah, work on releasing those fears and making these reparations or practicing this forgiveness. It could be forgiveness to self as well. But whatever it is, okay, you are going to have some sort of victory. All right. So love you so much, Cancer Soul family. And I will talk to you again very, very soon. Namaste. Hello, Scorpio. A lot like Cancer, you've got a little bit of fear to let go of here. Okay, Scorpio, just hearing this actually might bring it to the forefront of your consciousness, like if you didn't pick up on that already. And of course, this is collective, so don't go looking for something that's not there. This might not apply to you in such a direct fashion. Okay, so maybe there's a little something, but you're already letting it flow through and it's not as big of a deal. So just don't attach to it wholeheartedly if it's not a big thing for you. But just, yeah, there's a little bit of fear to let go of. And there's also some resistance or hesitation to this for those of you that probably are feeling it. So just be aware of that, the thing that might feel like anxiety, the thing that might feel like not being sure, or just, I want to say procrastination, but procrastination's not all bad always. Okay, so I'm not knocking procrastination when you're supposed to take care of yourself, but it's when you feel like you hit kind of a wall and you just don't kind of know which way to go. And so there's a little bit of work that's got to be done there. And it's around this full moon for whatever reason, okay? Probably just to do with this next big shift that you might already be feeling coming. And it's a collective shift again. And we're just at a big juncture that really kicked off big. There was a big climax around this last solar eclipse. Well, now we're to the partial lunar eclipse, and it's like wrapping some sort of energy up, dealing with this shift. I hope I'm making sense, Scorpio. And your energy is a big deal here in general, like for the whole collective, okay? You are helping the entire collective. But you're coming out, and this is in general, there's a cycle that lacked clarity, that might have been a little confusing, and you're coming out of this cycle. And so that's also probably causing some of this resistance is what I'm picking up on, because that's just rough. The push and the pull can be rough. So the advice here is to take the benefit of your own beautiful watery energy, Scorpio. Okay, this healing energy. Give yourself a lot of love and healing at this time. And that's why I see now why the procrastination thing needed to come out. I was wondering. So we see now that that's why that had to come through. Okay, give yourself some time and benefit from this love, this healing of self, because there is so much transformational energy taking place in your collective just on its own. Okay, on that subject, now there is a lot of this transformational energy happening, but there's a lot of groundedness, Scorpio. Good solid works are in progress right now in your energy. There's a lot of progress toward something very fulfilling happening for you. This speaks of joy. It speaks of abundance. It speaks of some sort of security. It's very, very similar to Cancer's reading, except that in this energy, many people have to maintain a lot of focus on taking care of yourselves. Many of you Scorpios, where it wasn't Cancer's necessarily their focus, you really need to focus on the taking care of yourself part, and also some reprioritizing so that you can take care of self, if that makes sense, okay? Now, for a group of you, you may have had to remove something from your lives. There might be a little bit of fear around this, Scorpio, but whatever has happened or whatever is happening, right? It's bringing you back into alignment, and it's bringing you closer to what really matters in terms of you and your experience, like your truth. Who are you? What do you care about? What's in your purpose? And what that thing that we talked about that's being removed, right? When you are really having this drastic of a frequency shift, we're just going to call it that. These are words, okay? So apply it, use your own vernacular. But this shift in your experience, what you're able to bring to yourself, what you're able to give, like a really big shift is happening. Sometimes things that were around you and operating just fine, could be people, could be structures, could be whatever, those things can no longer operate in the same way anymore. And so for many of you, that's going to be what has to leave, okay? But once this closes out, you're going to be able to access a lot more inspiration. And this will probably be creating for you guys a much faster progression with whatever these good works are. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Beautiful Scorpio soul family, you are doing the work as usual. This was similar last year, and there's a stereotype about Scorpios because, there's an appearance sometimes of like some sort of secret or something, speaking of eclipse, right? Something kind of being hidden. But listen, a Scorpio in their alignment, that what looks like darkness, it's not really darkness. It's the stuff other people can't handle and you're processing it. So people just aren't able to see this thing. It's not that it's necessarily even darkness. So I always find that pretty curious and amazing. And, I'm really glad I know a lot of wonderful Scorpios. I've had beautiful Scorpios in my life, okay? And still do. And I almost forgot to say happy birthday to you guys as well. All right, guys, I hope that makes sense. I will talk to you again very, very soon. Namaste. Hello, Pisces. There's a cycle of disappointment that is coming to an end for you. A cycle where things were off or things weren't coming in as quickly as you wanted them to come in. A cycle where relationships didn't work. Something like that. Okay, put it where it applies. But there is an energy, or it's very favorable right now, that if you would like a cycle like this to end, it can definitely end. You can allow it to come to a close. Because clarity is on its heels. Like as soon as this ends, or perhaps because you're coming into some kind of clarity, this is allowed to now go ahead and close out. It's like there's a returning to self happening. There was some kind of push and pull going on, some kind of resistance. And now whatever is being released from the Pisces collective is allowing you to come out of hiding, basically, allowing your true self to enter the situation, but not only come into the situation, but stay consistently. And sometimes that means if you're being all of who you are, and it's very big and it's very bright and it's very high frequency, some other things around you are not going to be able to live with that. They're not going to feel really comfortable with that. Now, this could be people, but it could be situations. Things could just be thrown off by that. So it's feeling like that's what happened for a lot of you. And I'm getting overwhelming confirmation about that just now. And so, so what they're saying is you're going to want to tap into your feminine. Now, this is whether you're a man or a woman, okay? This is about creativity, because as this push and pull comes to a close, right? There's something that's going to bloom out of this. It's the course of things. It's the law of things. It's nature. It's the way the pendulum swings, right? So take advantage of that. You can tap into that feminine energy, and the creativity is going to be more effortless. It's more of a come to me type of energy. It's allowing the magnetism to occur. It's being the thing and seeing the vision, holding the vision and having the knowing. And yes, you're still moving. The feminine is still energetic and always in motion, but there's so much more knowing. She's bringing so much more to her just by being in that state, or being allowed to be in the truest state of self. And this is a realm that you really have an opportunity to enter with this full moon in Taurus, this very earthy, loving, passionate, even though it's earth energy, it feels very passionate. And some things will still be hidden from you. There's a partial lunar eclipse going on, okay? But you know enough. You got enough going on. There's something in motion. This was also true for Scorpio. This was also true for Cancer. There is something in motion, especially for Cancer, real big too, okay? So I don't know how much water you have in your chart, so I'm just going to say it all to you, Pisces, as well. But there's a sense of inevitability here. It's like this is inevitable that this is happening. This was bound to happen based on whatever you decided. Could have been months ago, could have been last week. I don't know. But somebody decided something here, because this energy, as this cycle closes, looks pretty brilliant. And you're coming out of the push and pull. A lot of signs are earth, air, fire, and water. They're coming out of this push and this pull type of energy into a sense of stability that's going to be consistent. Now, keep in mind, as you expand, there's going to be yet another cycle here in a little bit, okay? But now, as your frequency is raising and there's a big shift right now, and hopefully I remember to say this in the introduction to these videos, Pisces, but there's some type of big shift collectively, and it's planetary. It's not just people who are really awake to things that are going on, whether it's spiritually, politically, whatever, but from wherever they are, right? Whichever point they're at, there's a frequency shift that's pretty broad. And we have these, we had a big one last year as well. This is another big one, a really, really big one. And so this next cycle you go through may not be quite as tumultuous as this last one. Depends on your situation, right? But overall, this has been a choppy one. So that's what I have for you, Pisces. It looks beautiful. Keep going. Connect to the feminine. Use your voice. Use that voice through the I know, I am, I understand, I see, I hold truth, that voice. Okay. All right. Love you so much, Pisces soul family. And I will talk to you again very, very soon. Namaste.